In this video, we are going to be predicting every NFL game this week. On Sunday, obviously, Commanders-Eagles already happened, and because Texans-Cowboys is on a Monday, that'll be interesting. I will not be predicting that video either. So, going at a 1 o'clock state, Raiders-Dolphins. I'm going to say that the Dolphins win this one. The Raiders have a 2-7 record, and Antonio Pierce, there's a good chance they fire him, actually. Will Antonio Pierce. I haven't got any other coaches, but like Steichen is obviously just a big mess. But like I mean, people say that he needs to be fired. I don't know if he is going to be fired. Whereas Steichen is more likely with the whole QB situation. But like, we'll get to Shane Steichen. When we break down the Colts game. The Dolphins, they had Tua out. They have Tua back. Their offense is better. Their defense sucks, but the Raiders just have a horrible quarterback situation, and Pierce can't coach. The Raiders are like the one not serious team in the AFC West. So because of that, I do think that the Miami Dolphins will win this game. Browns Saints. I'm gonna take the New Orleans Saints. They look better with their new head coach. The Cleveland Browns are just in an ugly quarterback situation, and the Saints, have looked better since they fired Dennis Allen. So I think the Saints will win this game. Oh my God, how do we not do all this? Colts Jets. The Colts are 4-6. The Jets are 3-7. Anthony Richardson is just not developing. So Steichen brought in Joe Flacco, who sucks, and now has to bring back Anthony Richardson. Of course, this is causing a lot of controversy, and that might be why he gets fired, especially because the Colts might want to clean house after this. Now, Richardson can't play, so you bring in Joe Flacco if you're trying to win, but Joe Flacco can't play either. But the Colts really should be in a position to contend for the division with how fraudulent the Texans look, and they can't. The Jets, meanwhile, are just in hell after they fired Saleh, Braun, Ulbrich. Their defense stinks. Aaron Rodgers still can't play. And because of that, I do think that the Colts win this game. Oh, that's how you do it. Vikings-Titans. Yeah, give me the Vikings. Packers-Bears. Yeah, give me the Packers on this one. These two are pretty obvious. Jaguars-Lions. Yeah. Even though I need the Jaguars to win so the Eagles can get the 1 seed, I just don't see it happening. Rams-Patriots. I'm going to say Rams on this one. The Patriots have looked slightly better recently, but I don't think they're beating the Los Angeles Rams, even though they just took a bad loss to the Dolphins. Ravens Steelers. Ooh, this is an interesting game. The Ravens have one of the most stacked teams in football, and the Steelers seemingly have a lack of talent. Nonetheless, the Steelers are 7-2 and the Ravens are 7-3, and this game will determine first place in the AFC North. It's being played in Pittsburgh, and Mike Tomlin might win Coach of the Year. If the Chiefs go undefeated or they only lose 1 game, or maybe they only lose 2 with the way Mahomes is playing, Andy Reid could win Coach of the Year if the Chiefs do really well in the regular season with Mahomes failing to impress, although his stats have looked better. But it's tough for a coach, on a team is stacked to do it, because even a mediocre coach with a talent on the team is expected to go, get at least 12 wins. And Andy Reid is not a great coach, but if they go 17-0, 16-1, or even possibly 15-2, he could win Coach of the Year. Campbell, if the Lions get to like 15-2 or thereabout, could also be a candidate for Coach of the Year. But it's likely going to be going to Mike Tomlin. Likely, Mike Tomlin gets the award. I know the Steelers get screwed out of awards the same way that the Eagles do, because Mitchell should be Defensive Rookie of the Year. Barkley should be Offensive Player of the Year. But I feel like they're going to give Offensive Player of the Year to Derrick Henry instead. And Defensive Rookie of the Year, they're going to somehow find a way to screw Mitchell out of it. They've screwed the Eagles out of awards for years. But that's a side note. I think that in this game, you know, the way that the Ravens have been playing, the declining of the coaching of John Harbaugh versus Mike Tomlin now all of a sudden becoming a really good head coach. The year after he was on the hot seat, I think this could be the Steelers' year. I think the Steelers win this game and take first place in the AFC North. Seahawks 49ers, give me the Niners. I think that the Seahawks start off 3-0 and now they're 4-5, so they're clearly collapsing. And they had weak competition at the start too. They didn't beat a good team. And the Niners, meanwhile, are 5-4. They're finally healthy, so they should be dangerous. It's really going to be between the Niners and Cardinals to figure out who wins the NFC West. Falcons, Broncos. Falcons are 6-4. Broncos are 5-5. Give me the Broncos on this one. The Broncos just took a bad loss to the Ravens in the game against the Chiefs, which they should have won, but they lost. But the Broncos have a really good defense. They had a poor start to the season, and now all of a sudden they're back. And the Broncos really should be 6-4. The Falcons, on the other hand, should be 5-5, even though they're 6-4. Because in the game against the Falcons and the Eagles could have guaranteed to have churned clock. They could have guaranteed to have churned clock, and by running the ball, instead they chose the mystery option, which is passing the ball, which could be anything. It could even involve the clock still running, but instead the clock stopped. Now, I think that even if Sirianni ran it, and they didn't get the first down, and they didn't push it, that the Falcons might have still won the game because the Eagles' pass rush was so bad that they might have legitimately completed a Hail Mary attempt. But if he doesn't do a stupid decision, then the Falcons are forced to do at least sort of a Hail Mary because it's going to be beyond the 35-yard line. Nonetheless, he stupidly threw the ball, giving the Falcons plenty of time to march down the field, score a touchdown, and then get a game-winning turnover to seal the game. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that the Falcons are worse than their record suggests. The Broncos are better, and that's why I think the Broncos win this game, especially with it being played in Denver. Chiefs, Bills, ooh. The Chiefs are the most fraudulent 9-0 team ever. They should have lost to the Bengals, and there's a questionable call by the refs. Questionable call in the Bucks and Broncos games too, and other fluky stuff happening to give the Chiefs the win. Bills are 8-2, and somehow, with all their weapons leaving, Josh Allen is playing the best football of his career. Looking at the Josh Allen 2024 stats, I mean, they're really good. He has 17 touchdowns to only 4 interceptions, and this was a guy who was known as a turnover machine prior to this. He has a quarterback rating on the year of 100.2. A pass rating of 100.2. And is completing 63.5% of his pass attempts. Again, even with him playing like total shit in the game against the Colts, he still led the Bills to victory against that game. Actually, I don't think he led the team to victory that game. Looking at it more accurately, it was James Cook, but still, And looking at the NFL game week 11 between the Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills, especially being played in Buffalo, and the Bills generally having a better regular season while the Chiefs dominate them in the postseason, I do think that the Bills will win this game. And end the Chiefs' undefeated streak. And if they don't, and it's another questionable thing, well, the NFL might be scripted at that point. Finally, Bengals-Chargers. I didn't agree with Colts Jets being flexed out because with how poor the Texans have actually looked, there is a realistic chance the Colts could win the AFC South, and that's why I don't agree with putting Richardson out there, who clearly can't play, and just punting on the season. Meanwhile, though, this game is between two teams that could make the postseason. However, Joe Burrow, even though he's scoring a lot of points, he still can't get the win. The Los Angeles Chargers, though, can get wins and have a very good shot at making the playoffs, and I don't think that the Bengals do. I also think that the Chargers win this game. So, looking at I can't do this part.